All right, we got small town badass Miss Tara Gonzalez on the line today. I'm so excited to have you on the Rainmaker podcast, Tara, because you are not only a rainmaker, but a true leader for your team, your branch, your community. And we're going to talk about some of those leadership skills today because it is absolutely required for you to scale and be great to step into leadership. Tara, you've been a loan officer only for 8 years. And from the first year you came to Guild, you hit Circle of Honor, and then you've never missed President's Club ever since. Interestingly enough, you were a realtor 4 years before becoming a loan officer. And I remember the first time Annette Hunt called me and said, Shay, I'm moving to Arizona. I'm leaving tiny Elko, Nevada, where we've got a population of 20,000, a county of 50,000, and I've got my replacement. And I was like, really? Who's your replacement if you're leaving your business? And she said, my favorite realtor, Tara Gonzalez. She's going to come in and be a loan officer and take over my business. And Tara, I was skeptical until I met you. And then I thought, okay, if there was ever a realtor that could get it done and transition and be a great loan officer, it'd be Tara. And you have just blown me away from day one in your willingness to learn. You're competitive, you're positive, you're an achiever, and really you are a loving leader. Those of you that are watching this podcast, you look at Tara, she looks exactly my age, yet somehow she's still a mom of 3 and a grandmother. You've been married to Juan for a long time. And he's been in the mining industry and working like a maniac underground at early mornings. And you've built this life, and I'm so proud of you. Today, you've been running a consistent $35 million business in a tiny town. The minute the market turns on, you've got a $60 million business. You're only limited by the market share that you've got. You've consistently had 25 to 30% market share. So, Tara, I got to know, what were you doing before you decided to become a realtor and then a lender? Like, what was your background?
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I was waitressing. I waitressed at the Star Hotel. And anybody that knows Elko or even doesn't know Elko has heard of the Star Hotel. So I waitressed there for about 14 years. I was going to college. It took me about 10 years to graduate. Again,
Wow.
family and kids and just all the above. So yeah, that's what I was doing.
I had no idea in all these years you were a waitress for 14 years
Yes,
before
where do you
this.
think I
It
got my
makes
customer service skills?
exactly. I was like, this chick knows customer
Mm.
service. I think waitressing and bartending in so many ways is
No,
far
without a
more
doubt.
difficult. I had more
Absolutely.
nightmares as a waitress than I do as a loan officer. I
I
don't know about
still have
you.
dreams about being a waitress, for getting a table or, getting their steak wrong. So doesn't go away.
So I always say for loan officers and realtors that go and get licensed and join our industry, they have a different twitch about them. We have a screw loose, if you will, because we jump into this commission only, betting on ourselves kind of an industry. What about your background made you decide to bet on yourself and jump into the real estate industry?
Well, I mean, the good thing is I did come from waitressing. So in a way, that's commission based in itself, right?
True.
I relied on tips, so it was how hard we worked or how many times we showed up or if we, gave good customer service, that's how we got paid. So I wasn't afraid of that aspect at all. And I wanted to earn what I made. I didn't want to just come clock in, make 20 bucks an hour, whatever that was, and go home. Like I wanted the sky to be the limit for me and I wanted to put the effort in and that's what I was going to get back out. So I went into real estate kind of with that thought in mind of, what can I do? Can I sell one home a month? And then it went to 2 homes a month. And then it went to, wanting more than that. So I think that's been the great thing about our industry is like whatever you want, you can have, right? You just have to be willing to work for it.
We were just talking about the fact that your mom passed away, and I'm so sorry for your loss. And you were talking about your eulogy and the beautiful speed bump you had early in your life that's caused you to be driven and give it your best. Talk to us about this beautiful speed bump.
Yeah, so it's pretty recent. My mom passed away a couple weeks ago, so bear with me a little bit. I had my daughter when I was 16 years old. I was still in high school, and my mom was also a single mom at the time as well. And so she knew what that was gonna be like, the hardship that that was going to bring to our family, but also how much work it was gonna take to raise a child by myself. And I was never alone. I mean, my family was incredible with the support and everybody rallying around and kinda helping out, but once I had Haley, it was like, "Okay, now I'm responsible for somebody else as well, and I've gotta really kick it into gear," and as a 16-year-old, that's pretty dang scary. So, I guess, that's where it all started.
And I love that your mom prefaced that the pregnancy at 16 was a beautiful speed
A
bump.
beautiful speed.
And and so when things aren't going well with your team or you got deals closing late or somebody ditches you or you're losing, you have that same story around it.
I do, and also, it teaches you, like, not to sweat the small stuff too. I mean, you have these big things that are going on in your life, so, I mean, we're dealing with people and getting them into homes and, their livelihood and, like, that stuff matters, right? But, I mean, if somebody's an hour late from signing their documents or the inspection, something came up on that, like, let's work through that, like, those are our beautiful speed bumps, like, don't sweat the small stuff, everything's gonna work out in the end.
I would say that, knowing you all these years, that you do have this, like, kind of rock solidness about you. You also have this sense of calm, and going to your office in Elko is always like a family affair. You make everyone feel so included, and it's such a beautiful, environment you put together, and you've kept people a really, really long time, Tara. So, um, how do you think about culture and energy in the office? Like, what is your mindset around that?
I think back to kind of like what I went through the last couple weeks, and, my mom always had all these people around her, and, it was like, "Oh, this is my friend and she helps me with this," or, "This is my friend that comes over and does this," and I used to be like, "Who the hell are all these people, and why are they here, and why are they showing up?" Right? And, going through the death of my mom and her being sick the last couple months, it was the same thing. It was kind of like, who are all these people and why the hell do they keep showing up for me, right? And I just realized that it's kind of more like this culture that we've created, starting with my mom, right? But then also with Annette. So when I came over and I inherited slash bought the team, there was just incredible people here already. And it was kind of like me to keep it going. And so I think, that's a big part of it is like showing up for your people. I checked out of work for probably 3 weeks. I don't know if you want to hear that or not, but where I didn't show up, I didn't call, I didn't, the team pretty much took over and all my people were here and didn't miss a beat, stayed till 7, 8 o'clock at night. They were there to support me, all of our business partners. But I think that's from the culture we created. And I had a really hard time in the beginning kind of receiving that because I didn't think that I was like deserving of it. Like, why are these people here for me? And, uh, why do they keep showing up? Right. So, uh, going even to business partners, going to, our clients, like, this is inside of all my family, like my family and friends, all that's a whole other story. But like business partners were calling me and saying, I'm holding off these leads till you get back. Take the time, enjoy your family, be there for, your family while you're grieving. I had people that wanted to get pre-approved that were holding off. I had a guy I called the other day and said, "Hey, I'm waiting for your document." And he said, "I'm giving you some time, Tara." And he said, "I'm in no hurry, but I need you to have the time that you deserve." And so that for me, I've won as a leader, right? Because my people, my business partners, my clients, like they're all showing up for me. They're all there for me. They're supporting me. And yeah, so that's when I knew that like I've created something really, really special.
Oh, thank you. That was so beautiful. And I'm so happy we got this opportunity on this recording to have this conversation. I know. I love it. I love it. Um, so you're a trust builder and a networker. And so I want the trust builders to hear how powerful it is to be a trust builder, because I think it's in moments like this when you didn't show up for 3 weeks, something you would have never dreamed of or imagined, because you show up, you're consistent, you're there for people, you give, you lean in. And in a moment where you couldn't give and you couldn't lean in, you were able to receive, even as awkward as it was, but you felt that support. So how else has being a trust builder helped you in a small town build what you've built, maintain the number one market share? Tell me a little bit more about that.
I mean, I think it's in the title, you're a trust builder, so people trust you. I mean, even though when we get, agents that are working with other lenders, they're calling us to verify things. They're calling us to see if, we can help them with this scenario that they're getting into, that maybe they're hitting their little speed bump. We're just consistent and we're there. So they know that, we're going to do the right thing by their client every single time, even if that's maybe telling them, yeah, maybe you need to go down the street because they have a better program for you, or things are going to work out better for you. They trust that we're going to do that. So when they send them to us first, they know their client's going to be taken care of. And it's pretty rare that we have agents that give the 3 cards out. I mean, they give our card out because they know that they're, when they tell them to come work with us, we're going to take care of them. Things are going to be done right. And they're going to be done with the client, the focus of the client, I guess.
Isn't it interesting that when you have your values in place and you have your beliefs in place and you share those, it gets reflected back to you?
Yep.
I heard from somebody yesterday, like, don't go out looking for people who want what you have. Go find people who believe what you believe. And in this moment, you're seeing that all the people you've aligned yourself with, from clients to business partners to teammates, have believed what you believe, which is family first and leaning into family and taking care of people regardless, and do the right thing by people, even if it doesn't mean you're getting the deal. Like, do whatever is right by people.
Right.
Would you agree that that's what you've believed, what you've talked about exhaustively, how you lead your team? It's those values that just align all of it?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So I think the exercise for all of us is to take a piece of paper out and write down all the things. What do you believe? Just set a 5-minute timer and write, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. How do you believe people should be treated? How do you believe a team should feel? How do you feel like your office should feel? And the more clear you are on what you believe, and the more you can tell those stories, you just then attract people who believe what you believe. It just doesn't become that hard. And that's what I've seen beautifully year after year after year. You got to wonder, like, how the heck has Tara come in and within 1 year, Circle of Honor, and every year since President's Club, when she only has 20,000 in population, 50,000 in your county. It's really remarkable. So let's talk about networking, because obviously trust builders can get caught really caring on people, and they can spend a lot of time, and their days get squandered away because they care so much. They need that second archetype to scale, to keep growing the business. And yours in this case is networking. So what are some of the things that you do in networking to maintain, grow, and scale your business?
Well, interestingly enough, I'm 38% of each. So it's like perfectly matched to both of them, which I didn't realize, because I do find myself, more towards the trust builder. But networking, I mean, we just make sure we show up. Gosh, if there's an event out there, we're there. I mean, we have people that are putting on fundraisers and we're calling them to see what we can do to help. Like, we're not waiting for people to call and invite us. We're kind of inviting ourselves all the time. So I think that's just it, is just like finding out what's going on in your community and doing it. And to be honest, we only do things we want to do. We only do things we like. But that's a lot. Like, we just like people. We like being at events. But I mean, if somebody's going to do something that doesn't align with us, or do it. But we're
That's
out a
really
lot.
cool. I think there's a lot of loan officers that work in smaller communities and that could build the vibe that you've built. You and the girls show up at the office. I call you the Guild Girls because
Yeah.
you're all women up there. and you all go to the events together as much as you can.
Yes.
You're in your community a lot. Your clients bring their documents to the office. You even get walk-ins that come in the front door, and you
Mhm.
rotate those around the 3 loan officers that you have.
Right.
Um,
4 now. We have
so
4.
is there anything else that you would say to people who live in a s Oh, 4. Yes, because your daughter that you had at 16 years old, Haley, is now a loan officer with us at Guild Mortgage. How has that been having your daughter on your team and now seeing her become a loan officer?
It's kind of funny too, because it's like you're so proud of them, but then you're like, wait a minute, she's gonna pass me up. I gotta work. So it's like this friendly competition, but it's like your mom heart is soaring, but then, my competitive side is like, I gotta get working. So it's been lovely. Like she's smarter than me. She's just, all the things that I want her to be and wished for her, she is. So she's such a great person, and it's just a natural fit. Like she helps people, and people, it's funny, like she's getting all these referrals like on social media and stuff, and I'm like, where's mom's name? But it's great. It's great. It's been fun.
It is really, really cool to see. Anything else you'd like to say about running a business in a small town and the way you win in a small town?
I think another thing too is, we try really hard to keep ourselves, I guess, just do things that we're proud of, right? Like my team wears guild shirts everywhere they go. It's funny, Dana got caught wearing one to her class reunion, and they're like, you must really, really like your job, don't you? And she's like, actually, I really do, but this was one of my only clean shirts. So we're just always out there, and we're promoting ourselves, and we're proud of ourselves and the way we show up for people. And I think that's the biggest part of it is like, the way that you conduct yourself out in public, even if you're not wearing your guild shirt, that's how people are going to perceive you. So in a small town, it's really hard to separate the guild Tara and then the social Tara, or, when I'm out with my friends. So just making sure, like I said, that, you're proud of what you do and you're proud of your actions and you're conducting yourself how you would want other people to see.
Something else I want you to talk about is, you've been part of my team, the Reno district and the Reno team. We are 4 hours away from each other, and you're in a small town, right? You're in remote Nevada. How have you not made it feel like you guys are on an island? That you're part of something bigger? What have you done consciously as a leader? What have we done? Like, how has that worked so beautifully for 12, 13
Yeah,
years
I
now?
think that that would be really easy to do, is to feel kind of like you are on an island, and yet we haven't. So we have constant interactions with our leadership. I mean, we're doing Zooms all the time. We're get to see each other's faces, and you do these retreats, and you pull us in. And the second we call anyone, for anything, everyone's jumping to see what we need and how they can help us. And we just feel loved. We feel supported. Like I wish I could bottle that up and sell it to other companies, because it would be something that would just, I'd retire and Haley could take over. But it's so valuable to feel like that. And I don't know the exact thing that's being done to make us feel like that, but there's just a combination of all of that.
I think it's a two-way street. I think number one, for me, I've always said I will not go open a location because I'm putting a dot on the map. Like, I've never said this population looks good, I want to go open a branch there and just expand it there. I've always said I will find killer people that I really, really, really like and who are aligned with our culture and values, and then we will go there. So that's how we got to Elko in the first place, is that Andy Stewart, my regional manager, knew Annette from Bank of America back in the day and said, you've got to meet this woman. She is fantastic, a great human being. And then I met Annette, and she aligned with our growth, and she wanted coaching, and she wanted structure, and she wanted systems. And she was so hungry and thirsty for it, being in a small town and working at B of A. And then the decision of whether or not you came in to Annette's business and came to Guild was, do we really, really, really like each other? Again, it's not because we want a human being on our roster, a line item on the spreadsheet. Like, we want to be aligned with people we really like. So it's so natural when you work with people you like, trust, and respect. And then also where there's an actual growth path and a structure to running the business so that there's a cadence around branch meetings and recognition and leadership visits. And, what I've noticed is that you love rhythm and structure because we'll have a branch meeting on the second Wednesday of the month, and you're having an Elko only meeting the opposite 2 weeks. And you've created those rhythms that keep people feeling like they're part of something.
Yes. Yes, I love that. I still remember the first time I ever met you. It was in Whole Foods. I don't know if you remember doing our interview in there, and it was just something like I had never experienced. And I think a lot of what you're saying is the reason why I wanted to come over to Guild as well, because that's a big jump, right? I mean, I had a great job being a real estate agent. I mean, I worked for a broker that I loved. Like, I wasn't looking to go anywhere, but when the opportunity presented itself, and then all these things were coming in as well, and then you go to Reno and you meet Shayla, and of course I already know Annette and love her, and all these things start coming together, and I'm like, you have to go here. And that's how I want the girls to feel. Like, that's how I want our office to feel, is like, you can't work anywhere else. Like, this is the only place that you would feel this loved and cared for and nurtured. And also, I mean, we expect excellence from them as well, right? There's accountability behind that too. Like, we don't just show up and party all the time. Like, there's loans being done and people being taken care of. So, the culture that we've created here, that was created before me, and being able to keep that culture is just something that's so valuable to me. It's just so precious that's why sometimes I feel like I have a hard time hiring, because it's like, you want the right fit. You want the right person to be in your branch. You just don't want to have a place filler, like you said. So
I'm so happy that you brought in excellence, because that is one of our core values, being the best. And excellence really underpins everything, because if you have excellence in execution, you do feel proud of who you are and wearing the t-shirt and, being side by side with other people who are, what I call gassy, have a high give a shit index.
right.
Only gassy people allowed. So let's transition to leadership. Some of the skills around being a great leader are the ability to simplify, delegate, predict, and know your metrics and your numbers, systematize, and run your business with structure. So, how do you keep things simple, Tara? Like, how do you lead with simplicity, keep the main thing the main thing?
I think we're all guilty of kind of trying to, just go out and do all these new things and find these things that work. And when you come back to the basics, right, is what we're taught, like our Tuesday update calls, our realtor calls, like doing our pre-approval calls. Like, those are the things where you're keeping it simple, you're keeping it basic, and they work. So we add things in, we take things out. Like, we're always trying new things to see if they're going to work or they're going to stick. But we really stick to the basics, and it keeps it simple. Because the more I add, like, the more, I'm not going to say confuses the team, but the more they're like, I don't know if you want me doing this or you want me doing this, because we've got all these things that you like me to do. So if I just keep it simple and let them go, like, it works.
Fantastic. And all of us loan officers like the shiny thing. We like the newest thing. We want to rebel from the structure. And I like how you said the team gets confused and they don't know which is the priority. So that's fantastic. Let's talk about delegation. My version of you, my perception is that you're great at delegating. What would you say about your ability to delegate?
I think that comes from being a mom, like, right? I mean, we have this ability to delegate because we've been doing it with our kids and our husband, and kind of just creating that family life that works. And so bringing that into the office, and like knowing the people that I'm delegating to and what they can handle and what they're good at, and knowing what I'm good at as well and what I should be keeping. Like, that's sometimes where I was telling you I get in the weeds a little bit, and I'm like, wait, you shouldn't be there. This isn't what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you're supposed to be bringing in these leads. You're supposed to be making it rain. Like, stop calculating their DTI, get out of there. So it's not something that I'm always doing great, but it's something that I know is what makes my team run efficient. And so when I see that I'm slipping, I like always have to bring myself back to like, nope, that's not yours. Get that off your plate. Or that's yours. Why are you having the team doing that?
So there's three job duties of a loan officer, and you just referenced those. Number one is to make it rain, to generate X number of leads per month. So based on your goals, you have to know what is the number on your head
Yep.
for lead
I
generation.
need 75 a month.
There you go. Number two is it's to grow and maintain your referral partner relationships. And generally there's a number to that too. Do you have a number in mind, Tara, that of relationships that you're managing to
About
maintain this
50
business?
relationships. That's my goal to keep. I think mine are a little bit lower than that right now that I'm nurturing, but I need to get it back up to 50.
Great. And in a small town, you got to love everybody and spread across everybody, but you're really honing in on 50.
Yep.
That's your goal.
hmm
And then the final one is to lead and manage the team. Like as a visionary, as a loan officer, you have to say, this is the promises that I'm making to the field, and make sure that your team, even if it's just you and a processor, are in alignment with the promises that you're making, and then things go smooth.
Yeah.
So I love what you said about delegation, that you'll be doing something and go, wait a minute, is it tied to those top 3 job duties or not? Like, what am I doing? Is this in my strengths? So it's really fabulous. What about predicting and knowing your metrics? How well do you do with that? What's your process for it?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're constantly looking at our numbers, right? And like we talked a little bit about before, I mean, it is a bit of prediction, but it's also knowing your numbers and knowing where those numbers are going to take you, because it's a science. I mean, if I make this many calls, if I get this many leads, if I get this many contracts, this is how many I'm going to close. I know that. And so I can look and see exactly where I'm at and where I'm going to be in a couple months. And so it's really about knowing your numbers, watching your numbers all the time, and just making sure that, my leads are low. Well, I need to go make more calls. I need to go to more events. I need to talk to more people. So the predictability is about the actions and activities that I'm doing and my team is doing, and measuring those.
Yeah, measuring them, tracking them, controlling the controllables. You do that really well. Let's talk about systematize. How do you as a leader systematize things in your office? What's your process for that?
I feel like this is kind of where one of my weaknesses is, and I hate to admit that, but we have systems that are in place, and if it's working, we keep it. If it's not, then we kind of mix it up a little bit. But as far as like lead generation and follow up, is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, anything. I mean, it's like if you want to do a community event, you
hmm
eventually get a system together, which is like, okay, who's gonna invite the people and who's gonna set up the table and
Oh yeah,
what's the
so we have
follow-up from the
SOPs
event,
on
right?
everything. We have SOPs on
Oh, look at you.
our activities, our lead generation, our follow up. Like we have them on everything. So pretty much it's plug and play. Like the team knows the exact system to follow. We know it so well that a lot of us don't need that checklist anymore, right? To go through and see where they're supposed to be. But yeah, we definitely have operating procedures that we follow for every little thing that we do.
I love how you said, I'm not very good at this, but we have SOPs for everything. Okay. That is not typical loan officer language.
Well, we even do like
Um,
a cookie drive. Well, not a cookie drive, but it's cookies with Santa. We do it with a local real estate company. We have an SOP for that.
so you're going to be speaking at Slay with Shay,
hmm
and specifically, you're going to be talking about lead generation. And one of those areas is builders. How
hmm
many different builders do you work with in Elko?
Well, we work with all of them. So there's about 6 different builders. There's some smaller ones that do one-offs. There's also a couple of manufactured home dealers that I consider a builder as well. But we work with every single one of them. We're the preferred lender for, I would say, 75% of them. So yeah, we love them all.
So I'm excited for you to break down in your segment. How did you get in the door? How do you maintain status of preferred lender? What are you doing to add value to those builders? So for all of you that are coming to Slay with Shay, this is going to be a phenomenal segment, because to have 6 or 7 builders would be a dream for most loan officers. And I'm really excited for you to break that down. I'm also wondering, as a bonus, Tara, if you'd be willing to give me some of those SOPs,
You
standard
bet I
operating
will. I'll give you
procedures.
whatever you want. hmm
Awesome. Because,
Yes.
as part of the event, we're going to have a ton of resources in a Google Drive from all of our speakers. And so I think that would be absolutely phenomenal.